buckle up because we're about to dive deep into AI, the big investments it's driving, and some surprising players you might not expect.
And let's not forget the massive energy demands. One of the things that really jumped out from these sources is just how power-hungry this AI revolution is going to be.
Seriously, the scale of the energy demand is mind-boggling.
Right.
We're not just talking about faster phones or smarter homes. This is about the power it takes to basically rewire the planet.
It's like we're creating a whole parallel universe, a digital twin of the physical world, and that digital twin needs to be powered up too.
Exactly. It's way bigger than just Silicon Valley. Everything will be impacted. Even things we don't usually think of as high-tech, like agriculture, are being transformed by AI.
Right. AI-powered sensors and data analysis are changing how we grow food and manage resources on a fundamental level. And that brings us to why we're seeing so much investment in energy infrastructure, especially renewable and sustainable power sources. We can't power the future of AI with yesterday's energy solutions.
So does that mean investing in oil wells is about to become the next big tech play?
Well, I wouldn't go buying up oil fields just yet, but you are hitting on something crucial that these sources all point to, the way different industries are all becoming intertwined. AI, energy, data centers, they're all connected.
Which brings us to a company that's been making waves in both the tech and the energy sectors, Tesla.
Tesla's fascinating because they're really trying to play both sides, pushing the boundaries of electric vehicles with AI-powered self-driving technology at the forefront.
But they're facing some challenges, especially in a market as competitive as China.
Yeah, their growth in China was supposed to be a sure thing, but it's definitely hit a few bumps in the road lately, and their stock price reflects that uncertainty.
Talk about a roller coaster. But one thing is for sure, Tesla and their pursuit of innovation, it makes for a captivating story.
Definitely captivating. Their self-driving car ambitions in particular, that's the kind of thing that could really change the game. Imagine if you could just call a Tesla like you call an Uber. That's the vision. But whether they can actually pull it off, oh, well, that's a whole other story.
It's a compelling idea for sure, but there are some big hurdles to overcome, from regulations to public perception, not to mention the technology itself. Designing a vehicle that can safely navigate our roads with all their unpredictability, it's a massive undertaking.
And the competition is fierce. Tesla's not alone in the EV market. You've got established car companies and ambitious startups all fighting for their share.
It's a high-stakes game, and the pressure is definitely on. But Tesla's not the only company out there using AI in interesting ways. What about the companies that are using AI in ways that maybe aren't as obvious?
That's where things get really interesting, because while Tesla is busy with electric cars and self-driving tech, other companies are quietly using AI to change the way we do just about everything, how we shop, how we connect with information.
Okay, now you've got me curious. Let's talk about some of those under-the-radar companies. Who's next on our AI adventure?
Let's talk about a company that's really leaning into the power of AI in a way you might not expect: SoftBank.
SoftBank, the investment giant. They always seem to have their finger on the pulse, spotting the next big thing before anyone else.
Exactly. And their CEO, Masayoshi Son, he's making some big moves in the AI space.
Yeah, from what I gathered from these sources, Sun's not afraid of taking risks. He's been ahead of the curve for a long time.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this is the guy who invested heavily in Alibaba when it was still just a tiny e-commerce site, years before they became the global powerhouse they are today. And now he's bringing that same forward-thinking approach to AI.
So where's he focusing his energy? What parts of the AI world are they zeroing in on?
Well, Sun's strategy seems to be about building the foundation for a future that runs on AI. And I don't just mean the software. They're investing in data centers, the physical infrastructure that everything relies on. And they're putting a lot of resources into developing the next generation of AI chips, the brains behind all these complex algorithms.
So it's like they're laying the groundwork for an entirely new digital economy.
Mm-hmm.
And with the purchase of ARM, the chip design company, they're in a really powerful position.
Exactly. But it's more than just hardware and infrastructure. SoftBank is also investing in companies that are finding new and creative ways to use AI in all sorts of industries.
It sounds like they're covering all their bases, from the raw materials to the final product.
They are. It's an interesting strategy because Sun seems to understand that no single company or technology is going to define the future of AI. It's all about building a network.
It's a fascinating approach, and it seems to be working for them. But we were also talking about Pinterest earlier, and their approach to AI seems completely different. They're not building data centers, are they?
It is interesting to see the different ways these companies are approaching the same technology. While SoftBank is focused on that foundational level, Pinterest is showing how AI can understand and even tap into what we want.
That reminds me of something that struck me while I was going through these sources. It's so easy to get caught up in the technical side of AI, the algorithms and the hardware, but we can't forget about the human element.
It's an important point. The success of AI isn't just about how much data it can process or how well it can predict our behavior. It's about making a connection.
And that seems to be something that Pinterest really gets. They're not just using AI to show us ads, it's about creating an experience.
It's definitely a different way of thinking than we're used to in the tech world, which tends to focus on efficiency and automation above all else.
It makes you wonder, as AI continues to develop, will we see more companies adopting this more human-centered approach?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Will AI become more empathetic, more in tune with our emotions, or will it always be cold and calculating?
That's a pretty deep thought. But before we go too far down that rabbit hole, maybe we should come back to some of the more practical challenges that come with this AI-driven future. It's really hard to grasp the full scope of how much things are changing. AI is poised to reshape everything from how we get around to how we shop.
It is a pretty fast-moving revolution, and one of the biggest challenges is how it will impact workers and jobs.
Absolutely. We can't talk about the future of AI without talking about the very real anxieties people have about automation. What happens to jobs as AI gets more and more sophisticated?
It's a complicated issue, that's for sure, and there aren't any easy answers. There are definitely some jobs that will be automated, but new ones will pop up in their place, probably in fields that don't even exist yet.
So how do we prepare for a future where the only constant is change? It's like trying to hit a moving target.
The key is adaptability, the ability to learn new skills, get comfortable with new technologies, and think critically about how to use them. That's going to be more valuable than ever.
So it's not about becoming a master of one specific thing. It's more about being open to continuous learning.
Exactly. The future belongs to those who are lifelong learners, who are willing to embrace change instead of fearing it.
It's a little intimidating, but it's also exciting, wouldn't you say?
It really is. And this isn't just about the technology itself. It's about understanding the human side of it, the ethical dilemmas, and the changes to society as a whole.
That's a good point. The future of AI isn't some pre-programmed outcome. It's going to be shaped by all of us, by the choices we make and the values we hold on to.
That's exactly why these kinds of conversations are so important. We need to understand this technology inside and out to make sure we build a future that works for everyone.
Well said. And on that note, we'll leave you with this thought. The future of AI is a blank canvas, and we all have a brush in our hands. What will you create?
What will you create?
This has been a fascinating look at the world of AI, and we hope you've enjoyed exploring it with us. Until next time, keep asking questions and keep imagining the possibilities.